we will be going to Game 2 between StarTales Bomber and Mouse Sports Mana.
And I think the next map is going to be on Terminus C, as we got invited to before, and I got invited in. Yes, it is going to be on this map. And which player do you think would benefit from playing on a large map like Terminus here?
I personally would give the favor to Mana. We've seen him go for the double forge in both of these games. And honestly, on a map like Terminus, you have the opportunity to control one big main choke, take 3 bases, and just sit. We even see a lot of players like Hasuabs, like Tyler, on these sorts of maps, just getting a ridiculous amount of gateways and then getting the charge and blink for the Stalkers and locking down. So definitely, we love to see the passive style that Mana is known for on this map.
And I guess what Bomber can do to overturn that is to try and focus on these pushes like normal. Oh, just need to make you host, and we can begin. But yeah, Bomber can try to execute these pushes like we've seen the brilliant timing attack on the first game versus the Colossus. The next timing attack in the second game as +1 finishes. Didn't resort to try to keep Mana contained in that base. Just easily pushed back with his advantage. Continued into the mid game and killed Mana quite easily later on.
Well, here we are going into the next game between Mana and Bomber. Can Mana manage to pull a comeback? Technically, he has lost 2 games in a row to Bomber. Only 1 ended up counting, though, so that means he still is in the hunt. Bomber now spawning in the right position as the Red Terran. If you would like to see him close it out and advance to the next rounds, give a cheer for StarTales Bomber. And up in the north lands, the blue Protoss always shows remarkable calm, but can he overcome the Korean Beast? We have Mouse Sports Mana.
And I wouldn't be surprised if we saw a similar build opening from Bomber like we did in that first game on Xel'Naga Caverns, where he went for that fast command center. This map is very viable. I guess the point to bring up is, though, it depends on how Mana's going to play. He might understand that Bomber would love to go for a fast command center and might try to bust it very early on, but I have a feeling that Bomber has been trained well enough to defend against any form of early aggression and can safely go ahead and get that expansion up. On the other hand, we do have a 13 gate here from Mana as he goes ahead and scouts which direction will he go in. And if he gets lucky enough, he might go right, but is he going to go? And he is going to go to the right way, so that's really good for him and get that early scouting information. And as you can see already, that Bomber has not put down that gas and will be going for that fast expansion build.
So Bomber, we've seen him use a big variety of styles. Again, well known for doing all sorts of craziness in Terran versus Protoss. Mana looks like he's still going for the gas really early on. No sort of super fast Nexus, but again, it's very common to take a Nexus after 1 gas, but will Mana add on a second?
Yeah, we'll have to see. In both games, he cut that Zealot, did not build a Zealot immediately and went straight for the second gas. What are we going to see here? He's going to see with the money he's coming up now, 30, 40. Does he go for that Assimilator immediately now, or will he go for that? What's he going to do? He is going to go for the second gas. So once again, is not going to be going for some kind of fast expansion build and might very well try to bust down. Look at the probe position as well on the mineral line of Bomber. And if Bomber doesn't scout that, he could very well be in danger if he tries to fast expand here.
There's the command center going down for Bomber. As anticipated, a lot of players are always putting the expansion command center on the high ground, universally favoring getting the mules and SCVs in safe positions before getting the slight economic advantage of having it on low ground safety over bigger leads. And we see, will Bomber end up getting double gas, going for a faster factory? Will he add on the extra barracks as he did in the previous game? We see a bunker going down. This, in my eyes, would signal an ultra-fast 3rd command center.
Look how smart Bomber is. He actually went back into the base as that pylon was being warped in, and as a building's been warped in, it's very low in range, and sight range that is. Therefore, Bomber went back in with the SCV and is hiding it inside the base of Mana, and at the same time, Mana did use his probe on that mineral line to scout what exactly was going on, and did see that bunker placement and knows that this is going to be a fast expand build.
1 refinery going down for Bomber, not 2. I still think that Bomber will very likely go for a fast 3rd base. There are these destructible debris. that can potentially cause a couple of counterattack problems, and this is very smart by Mana, doing some damage. Gonna retreat without taking too much main health damage, gonna let the shields recharge. There's an expansion by Mana. Will he do a fast second Nexus as well? Again, there are so many early expand opportunities possible.
And we do have another gateway being added on, 2 more gateways. So it's kind of a 1 gate with Sentry Expand, adding on a few more gateways. And meanwhile, Bomber is moving down with that command center, has added on the Tech Lab, and we'll be starting that stim very, very shortly here.
And around the 6-minute and 30-second mark is a reasonable time for Stim to go down with a fast expansion. Bomber looks like he does not quite have enough gas yet. The orbital command does land. We see Mana also having his expansion Nexus nearing completion, still having 3 gateways, and there's his Robo. Looks like he is going to go for safety in the Robo Tech. See the SCV that was hiding in the main is gone now, so it looks like Bomber did manage to get a little bit of information.
Yeah, he got the expansion. He noticed that had gone down, so he's very safe. Doesn't need to add on any more bunkers or something. Is very safe on that 1 bunker now, and will continue. Stim has now begun, as you said, around that 6-minute 30 mark, and added on a Tech Lab, and I wouldn't be surprised if he threw down a reactor on that 3rd barracks quite shortly.
This is an interesting opening from Bomber, getting this relatively early 3rd gas, but we don't yet see a factory. Could potentially see some sort of ghost play. It looks like he is not going to be opting for that faster 3rd command center, but once again, 3 gas on 3 racks is a little unusual. We see the fast 2nd Tech Lab going to be getting concussive shell, starting to stock up on those Marauders.
And we do have an observer being chrono boosted out now, and we'll be able to get a lot of scouting information when that gets across. And the robotics bay going down. And as you said and we've seen, Bomber knows his timings very well. And if he does want to hit a robotics bay timing, then he should look to push out very shortly. And I don't know though, because Stim is only halfway complete. The shells will finish very shortly. And we do have a factory being added on now. And just on the natural here.
Very, very unusual timing by Bomber, but if there's one player who I would trust to do any kind of build, it would definitely be him. Mana going for the very traditional, faster Colossus. A lot of players will use this as the big crutch, just making sure that they have some way to deal with those big Marine Marauder troops. And here is the push coming up from Bomber. We see Stim still about 30 seconds out from being completed. Can he get this Colossus out in time? It looks like the answer will be no. Most importantly, when the Colossus does arrive, there will not be that extended thermal lance. It will be very easy to snipe. Bomber is coming in with a very strong, extremely unusual timing.
And Mana is a little bit supply blocked here again. And that's going to hinder because he could have definitely got a few more Stalkers out here to help defend against this. But these force fields hopefully will buy him time, and the Colossus is going to hopefully just arrive. And that's definitely going to be forcing Bomber to leave. He can't really engage unless that Colossus is caught out of position here.
No Stim wasted yet by Bomber. There's the Guardian Shield going down. Great force fields, trapping absolutely everything. And can the Colossus get the key hits it needs? Ripping everything up. Amazing force fields. See you later. Early push from Bomber. Unbelievable defense by Mana.
Indeed, and he did manage to snipe a few sentries, which is key, but it looks like Mana's going to go ahead and try to counter and kill 2 Marauders most definitely. And a couple of SCVs were pulled there to help. Actually, 4 SCVs in total were pulled there with that army. So looking at the unit tab now, 54 SCVs, 4 were not mining, so quite equalized. And 2 bunkers are being placed down now in anticipation for something like that.
What a great response by Mana. He's taking a Nexus. He is not going to go for any sort of huge risky counterplay. That is the calm that Mana is known for. Just going to slowly swell on those Colossus numbers. We see that the observer in the main getting a good look at the barracks count, sees that it is still at just 3. Vikings getting produced. We see, well, did they get canceled? It looks like no. 2 Vikings are actually officially on the field for Bomber. There they are by the natural expansion. 4th gas going down. Bomber is in a little bit of an awkward position.
Yeah, I mean, he did send out that scouting SCV then to actually see if the army was outside his natural and didn't see anything. And he's going to send out another SCV, but is going to react very well. Both players using their decision-making skills so excellently here, and he's going to throw down that command center knowing that that attack, that counter-attack was more of a feint than anything else, as he saw there were no units in the middle of the map, and goes ahead and grabs that 3rd base also. And as you can see now in the main base of Mana, he's added on that double forge like we talked about previously.
double Forge so strong. And, you know, with this mixture of Colossus and Forge, it's almost easy on the Chrono Boost decision-making. We do see that these two medevacs get repelled. In the late game, often if a player is gateway heavy, it's hard to know where to spend the Chrono Boost. Do you do it on the probes, on the gateways? But here, just keep Chrono Boosting the Forges and your Nexuses will be very efficient. Look at how low all the energy is there. We see one Colossus just straining to try to walk off, but man, just can't quite manage to get over the edge.
And right now, quite equal economy. 64 probes versus 62 SCVs. The third command center, as you can see, a little bit late. But I suppose that... Oh, this medevac, one Marine trying to get in and scout. I don't know.
Oh.
What did he actually manage to see? Didn't actually see anything of importance. But it looks like Mana will most likely go for some kind of 2-2 timing attack. Very strong on this map. With an easy third accessible base, you can go ahead and defend against any drops and then push out for a very strong 2-2 timing attack.
I cannot believe how good Bomber is at always getting ahead in food after he lost so many units at the start. Now pushing out, but look at how these unit counts are pairing up. 6 Zealots and 8 Stalkers is it. The 4 Colossi are really going to be the core of this army when this 1-1 is done and the Zealot leg charge is done as well. That is going to be the time for Mana to really swing forward with a ton of Zealots. But can he get up Zealots in time to hold off this push?
And +2 attack or armor has not been started yet. He's using his gas for these High Templar that are being warped in now. Observer inside the main base of Bomber is seeing every unit that has been made from the main base going down, so he knows exactly the kind of composition. He must be checking that very regularly. And now +1 armor is being begun for Bomber. It's about halfway done now. And excuse me, +1 attack had finished before that, and now we do have the 2-2 upgrades beginning and being chrono boosted out now for Mana.
And it looks like the Zealot leg speed will be done in time. Mana is in an excellent position. Ghost getting made, the Mobius reactor is coming up. But when will Bomber make the key push? We see that it looks like Bomber is gearing up to take himself a 4th base. This is going to be a very vulnerable position for Bomber. Could be a key trigger for Mana to make a big attack. There was the scan, but did the scan spot the Templar?
Did they?
I have absolutely no idea.
I don't think they did,
It may have been a rhetorical question.
I don't think they did, actually. But these ghosts are going to come out and help anyway versus this kind of army. And 2-2 about halfway completed now. Mana moving out in the map. We'll want to try to gain that Xel'Naga tower in the middle, but will not really want to engage before 2-2 is done. Needs to chrono boost. Is still chrono boosting them out, not too far away from finishing. And this army from Bomber is looking so dangerous, but it's all going to come down to the storms, and it's going to come down to the EMPs at the end of the day here.
In the unit counting station, we see 23 Zealots out. A decent amount, but not nearly as many as Mana would like, but he is maxed out. He has 8 High Templar, desperately needs to get off some absolutely huge storms or EMPs. We see the Ghosts are not even in this mix. They are all far behind. One Stalker caught at the front, no blink yet. Will end up falling. Has to be absolutely perfect with his unit control.
And both players are grabbing a 4th at the exact same time. And it looks like Bomber's trying to engage. Oh! Great storm up on the units on the ramp and feedback.
Medevac gets taken down. Here's Mana going for the engagement. Oh, a stim. Oh, a great storm. Not nearly enough medevacs. Look at all of those units in the low health. Here come the Ghosts, but more Templar wandering forward. Oh. Most of the Vikings are gone. Mana doing huge damage. Can Bomber finish it off? It looks like Bomber does manage to break through.
Wow, what excellent EMPs there. And the EMPs there really changed that tide of the battle because 2-2 was completed for Mana. And now it looks like Bomber is going to go ahead and cancel the 4th base of Mana, which is great here. Units are trying to warp in to help defending us, but units are so low in HP, as you said, there are not enough medivacs. And the 4th base does get up.
And it looks like we see another expansion by Bomber. We see a lot of speed Zealots, and this is the strong point in Mana's game, doing a lot of aggression with the Templar, speed, Zealot mixtures. We even have an Archon hanging out in the middle of the map. But Bomber might be able to do a good counterattack drop, but look at the gateway count for Mana.
I know, it's about 15, 16.
Huge number of gateways, still having some at the back of the base, getting 3-3. And now having his 4th expansion up, oh no, needs to strike before this planetary fortress gets established.
And it's about 25% now, and does he see it? He has a probe there and does see it, so will he be going for attack? And he's got these Archons. After the EMP went off, he had to build that Archon there to make use of them high Templar. These 3-3 upgrades, though, are going to absolutely tear apart these 2-2 upgraded moons. It looks like he's trying to move around. He can't really engage those. The planetary fortress is about to be up, but he can definitely cut off some SCVs here.
Looks like a total surround. Oh, the SCVs!
Oh, the SCVs!
Get obliterated. A bunch of Marauders come from behind, and it looks like the counter drop by Bomber successfully taken down. Another dropship up top gets repelled, and the expansion falls. Mana is in a dominating position.
And as you predicted before we even went into this game, that this map would really go well for Mana, and it is. He's got almost 3-3 now.
When he spots the bottom right command center, suddenly Bomber mined out in the main, mined out nearly at the natural, and his 3rd base is almost dry too. Mana is going to win a war of attrition if he just does not make mistakes.
And it looks like Bomber's trying to move out now. He has to move out from this natural. He's lost his entire late game economy, and it's all going to come down to these EMPs. Can he get them off? They don't have Cloak, but they do have... Well, actually, no, Bomber's going to... Mana's coming in. Oh, good storm!
And it looks like Mana is moving in for a potential killing blow. Needs to still be careful. He has not won this game yet. A lot of ghosts out on the field. Archon's getting morphed. Mana with another great storm. Can he get off another one? He does. Continuing to repel back these forces. But an EMP goes off, knocking down one of those Templar. Mana needs to be careful. Losing a lot of units in a big retreat. Gets the scan off. Might stem the chase, but is still not having that many medevacs, only 5 at this point, but there are units in the main, units down by the 2nd. Mana needs to regroup these together.
In comes another attack, another stim, does take out a lot of units, and Bomber trying to stabilize.
EMP is going off. Ghost getting roasted. We still see that Mana is max versus Bomber at 128 food. Mana doing an incredible push forward. Bomber trying to unload units. Mana might be able to take a game off the GSL Code A champion. Stim trying to pick off the Colossi, but Mana, the 3-3 upgrades, the intimidating composition, and the good game.
Woo!
Bomber falls to Mana. Mana tying up the series 1-1. It is already 1:30. The White Raw Preddy game is being delayed, so that way we can continue to follow the action in this match. Mana may very well win this series 2-1. You see that Mana has great grasp on the late game. It's Bomber's early game aggression that's the problem, but that cup of force fields was just perfect.
And then not only that part of the defense, the later on, the mid stages of the game defense, he had units patrolling the main on the edge skirts of that. He had units on his 3rd base. And as long as he defended against any aggression that Bomber tried to throw in via medivacs, via the front of the natural, and with these upgrades, he just completely powered through, was able to get that 4th base up and running.